Saturday afternoon, and time to drop in at the Sportsman's Club for another sports story, especially selected for you by the Dean of American Sports Writers, Grantland Rice. Yes, it's yarn spinning time down at the Sportsman's Club. That's where the sports fans gather every Saturday as guests of Grantland Rice. Grantland Rice, who has covered all the big sporting events of the past 30 years. Granny drops in at the Sportsman's Club every week at this time to join in the sessions of the grandstand managers and Monday morning quarterbacks, and to share with his friends one of the sports stories he's collected through the years. Now it's a wide-open meeting for all good sports. So join us, won't you? Come along into the Sportsman's Club and meet Grantland Rice.
Granny, what do you think of the St. Louis Browns?
Well, anyway, they got off to a great start. And personally, I'd like to see them stay up there. You know, Luke Searle is a great fella. The Browns are the only team, as you remember, in the American League that never won the pennant. They came pretty close in 1922, but I think almost every fan would like to see the Brownies get a chance at the World Series.
That's right. You can't tell about the race this year, eh, Granny?
Well, not in the American League you can't. It's wide open. And I think General Hirsch and the draft boards know more about it than even Judge Landis.
What's the story today, Granny?
It's an unusual story, but it's the kind I like to dig up for you. You remember a few weeks ago I gave you one of Bill Tilden's yarns. Well, today's story is by another well-known athlete, a fellow who could take not only his own way down the track, could play a pretty fat tune on the typewriter, too. I'm sure most of you fellows remember the name of Jackson Schultz.
Sure.
Well, he was a member of 3 Olympic teams. He ran both the 100 and 220-yard dashes within 1/10 of a second of the record. That's pretty fast. And he beat Charlie Paddock, the world's fastest human, 12 out of 16 times he ran against him.
Yes, sir. I saw him do it one year myself.
Well, anyway, Jackson Schultz calls this story The Road to Athens. And here it is. Now, our story opens in the ancient Greek town of Marathon. 2 Nazi officers stand chatting on a street corner as towards them shuffles the town half-wit, dragging his crippled leg behind him. Suddenly, the crippled man sees the Nazis. He stops and then begins to cross the street to avoid them.
Heinrich, where do you hear such stories? I haven't laughed so much in weeks.
Ach, that is only a sample. Have I told you the one about General Rommel and the hotel manager?
No, tell me by all means.
Well, it seems that General Rommel established headquarters in this hotel, you see?
Yeah, Heinrich.
The first night at the hotel, General Rommel...
Wait a minute.
Who is that? Who? Oh, the one crossing the street?
Yeah, that one. Who is he?
Merely the town imbecile. Continue with the story, Heinrich.
Wait. You there. Come here.
Heinrich, what do you want with this one? I've told you who he is. Go on with the story.
No, Karl, wait. You. What's your name? Answer, you swine. What's your name?
Heinrich, why do you waste your time? I've told you who he is.
No, I think I've seen this one before. Cannot remember exactly, but there is something about him that is familiar. Speak, you fool. What's your name?
Heinrich, he can't speak. The only sound he can make is that foolish laugh.
Yeah, but who is he?
He's the village half-wit. His name is, Skopas. Yes, he's the nephew of the town doctor here, Dr. Skopas.
So?
Yeah, he's perfectly harmless.
I've seen him somewhere before. You there. Now look up.
Now, Heinrich, you could not possibly have seen him. Have you ever been in Marathon before in your life?
No. Nor in Greece, for that matter.
Then it is settled. You couldn't have seen this unfortunate fellow. He has lived here all his life. We have checked every inhabitant of the town, and we are certain.
Maybe mistaken, but...
Of course. Now you, Skopas, get home. Get off the streets. You understand? Now, Heinrich, the story. The one about General Rommel and the hotel manager.
I would have sworn I knew that fellow. Way to go on with the story. So the general rang for the hotel manager late at night and...
Oh, it is you, foolish one. Come into the house.
Oh, that was our close one.
Stefan, what has happened? Were they following you?
No, Doctor, I don't think so. But I met Heinrich Wolf.
Heinrich Wolf? Who is Heinrich Wolf?
Well, no, he seems to be a Nazi captain. He's just arrived in town. He thought he recognized me, but another officer assured him I was the town idiot and had lived here all my life.
Was he convinced?
I think so. Oh, boy, it's good to straighten out.
You knew him in the old days?
Yeah. Yes, we were both distance runners. I competed against him in the Olympic Games at Berlin, 1936.
You were a member of the American team, Stefan?
Yes, Wolf was on the German team, and I'm sorry to say he beat me.
Stefan, this thing worries me.
Yes, it worries me a little, too. But I think he was finally convinced, Doctor. After all, he wasn't sure just where he'd seen me before, and the other Nazi assured him that I was your nephew.
What if they knew the truth? That you were Lieutenant Stefan Zeno of the United States Army, here in Marathon working with the Greek underground?
I don't like to think of that possibility, Doctor.
It would mean the ruin of all our plans.
Yes, Doctor. But we shall have to assume that Wolf will not remember me. We shall have to move a little faster now.
We cannot move at all, Stefan, until everything is in readiness. Stefan.
Yeah. Huh. It's only Lycurgus. Let him in, Doctor.
Yes?
Doctor, I am in the greatest agony. In my stomach, there is pain like fire. Can you give me medicine, Doctor?
Come in, my good man. Come in.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well, Lycurgus, do you bring us news?
Yes. A message for Stefan.
Give it to me.
Gladly. I'm glad to be rid of it. If I had been apprehended with this in my pocket, this very night I would be very dead. Here, take it.
Thank you.
Stefan?
I must decipher it. Wait just a minute. Let's see. Yeah.
I was told to swallow it if the Nazis stopped me.
Quickly, Stefan.
In a moment now, in a moment. Tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Doctor, we must move quickly now. We strike tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Stefan.
Quickly, Doctor. Let me in.
Stefan, what is the matter?
I don't know for certain, Doctor. I had the feeling I was being followed.
By this Heinrich Wolf?
Perhaps I can't be sure.
Could they have seen you talking to anyone?
No. Oh, no, I was very careful. But they may have seen me entering the houses.
You saw everyone?
Everyone. They are ready.
Oh, what a pity it would be if they suspected our plans now. Now, with only a few hours more to wait, after working and scheming for 8 full months.
Don't worry, Doctor. We'll do what we've planned to do.
But this Wolf, why of all the Nazis in Germany did he, the one man who might recognize you, why did he have to come here to Marathon?
Well, that's something we could not have foreseen.
No. If we can just have these few hours more. Stefan, are you sure that everyone understands what must be done?
I'm certain, Doctor. We've spotted every radio station and listening post for 30 miles along the coast. They'll be wrecked at the right moment.
What of the radio station here in Marathon?
That's my job.
Telephone wires?
They'll be cut at the same time.
And the motorized equipment?
We have 4 men who are mechanics for the Nazis. They are to wreck everything on wheels. We've overlooked nothing. When the Rangers land, there will be no possible way for the Nazis here to send for reinforcements from Athens. Not until the Rangers have had time to land and take over.
Have you talked to Mansoulis?
Not directly, but his guerrillas will be ready to assist the Rangers.
I hope it works out.
Must work out, Doctor.
I would feel easier if this Heinrich Wolf had not seen you.
Well, that's a chance we'll have to take.
Yes. Well, you must be hungry now, Stefan. Vikogas.
I don't want anything to eat, Doctor.
You must eat, Stefan.
You called, Doctor?
Yes, Vikogas. Fix food for Stefan.
Oh, Doctor, I really couldn't force down a bite.
But you will, Stefan. What you must do tonight is no task for an empty stomach.
Very well, Doctor. I'll try to eat something.
Good. Stefan.
Yes, Doctor?
This may be our last evening together.
Yes. Yes, I'm afraid it must be. If our plan succeeds, I'll be moving on. If it fails, well...
My boy, you have done Greece a great service.
Well, I couldn't have accomplished anything without your help, Doctor. I've asked a great deal of you.
Not as much as you have asked of yourself, Stefan. I am an old man. I have very little to lose. You are young. You have everything to live for.
None of us has anything to live for, Doctor, unless we win this war.
We will not lose it, Stefan, as long as there are men like you. Oh, but we grow too sentimental.
We do.
And this is no night for sentiment. Gorgas, where is the food for Stefan?
Patience, Doctor. I am coming.
Stefan, this is no friend. Quickly, hide. No, it's too late for that. If it's the Nazis, they have seen me enter. We must face it, Doctor. Open the door.
Very well. Yes? Good evening.
Dr. Skopas, I believe.
That is right.
May we come in?
Of course. Come in.
Thank you. Stand there, Schmidt.
Jawohl, Herr Kapitän.
Won't you be seated?
Thank you, Doctor.
I'll send my nephew away. He is not quite right up here, you know. Go into the kitchen now, Peter, like a good fellow.
No, Doctor. Let your nephew stay, by all means.
But really, I would prefer that he...
Let him stay.
Oh, very well.
Permit me to introduce myself, Doctor. I'm Captain Heinrich Wolf.
I am delighted to meet you, Captain.
Of course.
Is this a professional call, Captain Wolf?
Well, yeah. Yeah, in a way, this is a professional call, Doctor.
I hope I may be of service.
I hope so, too, Doctor.
Have you any symptoms?
Yeah, that is precisely what I have, Doctor. Symptoms.
Perhaps you'd better tell me about them.
Gladly, Doctor. I have a strange feeling.
Yes?
It puzzles me. All last night I lay awake with this strange feeling.
Well, it is probably nothing serious. A sleeping pill may be all you need.
No, Doctor. For this strange feeling of mine, I do not think a sleeping pill would be of benefit.
No? Exactly what is this strange feeling, Captain Wolf?
It is a strange feeling that I have seen your nephew before.
My nephew?
Yes, your nephew.
Oh, but that is out of the question, Captain, unless, of course, you have been in Marathon before this.
No, never.
Then it is quite impossible, Captain.
Who is he?
My nephew? Why, he is simply that. My nephew. His name is Peter Skopas. He is the son of my sister who died in childbirth. The boy has never been quite right. He has the mind of a child and a crippled leg.
Yeah. For one who is crippled, Doctor, your nephew does considerable traveling.
Traveling?
Yeah, traveling. This afternoon he was observed to have traveled throughout the town. He stopped at 8 houses.
Oh, that? Oh, that is easily explained, Captain. You see, he is like a child. Although he's now 26 years of age, he goes to the houses and begs for sweets and such things. My friends have been very kind to him.
So?
Yes. He is quite a beggar in the matter of sweets.
You.
Captain Wolf, I beg of you.
Stand up. Stand up, you. Why did you go to the houses this afternoon? Answer.
It is no use, Captain. He is unable to speak. He can make no sound other than that foolish laugh.
I wonder if he could not be persuaded to speak just a little.
Captain, you are hurting his arm.
Speak up, you fool. Who are you? Where have I seen you? Speak.
Captain Wolf, as a physician,
As a physician, you'll keep your mouth shut. Schmidt,
Jawohl, Herr Kapitän.
search the house.
Jawohl, Herr Kapitän.
Captain, I must ask the meaning of all
Quiet.
this.
That face. Where have I seen that face?
Captain Wolf, let me repeat. This is my nephew. He has lived here all his life, here in Marathon. Ask anyone at the town.
Come along, you. Come along.
Take your hands off
me. I have done nothing.
Well, what have you found, Schmidt?
This one is the kitchen, Herr Captain.
Who are you?
This is the
Quiet. Speak up, you.
My name is Lycurgus. I assist the doctor.
So, and what have you there?
A tray of food. The doctor's supper.
So, Dates. Very good.
Are you satisfied now, Captain?
No.
But, Captain, surely you must be mistaken.
I'm never mistaken.
But, Captain,
It is barely possible that this fellow, this nephew of yours, merely resembles someone I've met.
Of course, that is it.
I'm not so sure. But remember, Doctor, I will not rest until I have solved this little mystery. Here you. Give me some of those dates.
But it is the doctor's supper.
Give him the dates, Lycurgus.
Very good. That will be all for now, Doctor. Goodbye. Goodbye, nephew. Come along, Schmidt.
Goodbye, Captain.
Auf Wiedersehen, Doctor.
Stefan, I thought we...
Quiet.
They're going, Stefan.
What will we do, Stefan?
Yes. What shall we do about Wolf?
We should do nothing, Doctor. In a few hours now, we'll not have to worry about Heinrich Wolf ever again.
There they go! That way! Fire, you fools! Fire!
Halt! Who is it? Halt! Stop where you are! Oh, it is you, the weak-minded fellow, huh? The nephew of Dr. Scopus. Go home, idiots. Get off the street. Do you hear me? Stop where you are.
Yeah? Yeah, who is it?
It is I, Carl. Hurry, get up.
What's the matter with you, Carl? Have you been drinking?
It's an uprising. Sabotage. They have wrecked the radio station.
Huh? What? Who has wrecked the radio station?
The Greeks, the underground. 4 sentries have been killed. They have cut the telephone wires. They have wrecked our cars and motorcycles.
So, we need reinforcements. Get word to Athens immediately.
This is impossible. The lines are cut. The radio station is dynamited.
Send the courier then, you fool. Quick.
Haven't I told you, Heinrich? They have wrecked every car and motorcycle in town. Heinrich, what can be done?
Oh, what a fool I've been. The doctor, he had a hand in this.
Heinrich, we must do something.
Never fear, my friend. We will do something. Come on.
Lycurgus.
Dr. Skopas.
Quickly, tell me, Lycurgus. How does it go?
Like the working of a clock. I myself have cut the telephone wires. Stefan accounted for the radio station. Charikides and Alcamenes have wrecked the transportation. It is success, Doctor. Where is Stefan?
We were to meet here. I hope nothing has happened to him.
Oh, not to that one, Doctor.
Oh, I pray to heaven he is safe. That young man has become like my own son.
Wait.
What is it, Lycurgus?
Someone approaches. Quickly, into the shadows, Doctor.
Thank heaven for that. Lycurgus, you're all right.
Better than ever in my life. Stefan, it is success. Success beyond our dreams. We have not lost a man.
Yes. Everything, Doctor. We have done all we can. Now it's up to the Rangers, and I have no doubt about them.
There is no possible way for the Nazis to get word to Athens in time?
No, Doctor. We've overlooked nothing.
If the Nazis wish to get to Athens, they must walk.
How true, Lycurgus.
Yes, now they must walk. Walk or run. Or run.
Run, Stefan?
Run? What a fool I've been. Of course, run. They can still run.
Stefan, what is it you speak of?
What an utter fool.
Stefan, what are you talking about? Who will run to Athens?
Heinrich Wolf. How did I ever forget that? I thought I overlooked no possibility, but don't you see, Wolf? Wolf was a marathon runner. He could run the distance from Marathon to Athens. Yes, run it in time to get reinforcements here to meet the Rangers.
But that is absurd.
Oh, no, it's not absurd. Heinrich Wolf is a distance runner. He's in condition, I can see that.
A man could run to Athens?
Of course. Well, I've got to get started right away.
Oh, Stefan, what are you doing?
Well, I'm stripping. I'm going to run to Athens.
What?
Well, if Heinrich Wolf has started, I'll catch him.
What if he has started? How could you overtake him?
You forget, Doctor. I'm a distance runner, too. Heinrich Wolf beat me once, but he won't beat me this time. I'm going to run the greatest race of my life.
And now, this is the story of the greatest race that Stefan Zeno, the American, ever ran. It is a story that has not been told in this war. But, of course, in a war like this one, there are so many stories of brave men and brave deeds. But I want you to know about Stefan and how he came back to the land of his fathers to run this greatest race of his life on the side of freedom. This is the story as Stefan himself told it to me. To me, the town doctor of Marathon, when we met for the last time before he left Greece. Of course, he did not know for certain, when he set out on the road to Athens, that Heinrich Wolf, his old rival of the Olympic Games, was actually out there ahead of him. But Stefan knew that Wolf was the one hope of the Nazis, and he was determined to take no chances. Stefan crossed the Charadra stream, fighting against a desire to sprint and close the gap he hoped was separating him from Wolf. It was hard for him to maintain the steady stride of the distance runner, to keep his muscles loose and relaxed, to subdue his mental fretfulness. It was night, you will remember, and the moon was bright, the air hot and heavy. 5 miles out of Marathon, he began to worry about his second wind. Every distance runner does that, Stefan told me. There is a gnawing fear that this time the second wind will not arrive. It was late coming to Stefan now. Then as he came over a slight elevation in the road, he looked ahead and gasped convulsively. There ahead of him, running easily, was Heinrich Wolf, the Nazi. The shock and the hoarse gasp seemed to jerk every bit of air from his lungs. But then Stefan breathed easily, and he knew that with Heinrich Wolf a few hundred yards ahead, Stefan knew that he had his second wind. They ran on, and then some premonition must have worked its way into the brain of Heinrich Wolf. He turned and saw Stefan. Stefan half expected him to stop and fight it out with his bare hands. But the Nazi instead broke into a run that was almost a sprint. Stefan quickened his pace. It was a real race now, a race with more at stake than Stefan believed any race could ever hold. They ran on, faster and faster at a killing pace. Stefan's muscles ached as they had never before. Every stride was torture. His head was bursting, and desperately he tried to fix his mind on some distracting thought.
Rejoice, we conquer.
He heard a voice, so Stefan told me, unmistakably a voice, and a single phrase.
Rejoice, we conquer.
Then it came to him in a blinding flash. Marathon to Athens. He, Stefan Zeno, the American distance runner, was running along the very route where the marathon had been born 2,000 years before. Oh, how could he of Greek blood ever have forgotten that? It was Phidippides who had run this distance 2,000 years before, had run to Athens from Marathon with the news of the victory over the Persians, had driven himself with superhuman endurance, and had fallen exhausted at the end with just enough strength to gasp before he died.
Rejoice, we conquer.
Rejoice, we conquer.
Rejoice, we conquer. The words seemed to send new strength coursing through the tired legs of Stefan Zeno. He felt sustained, as if an invisible hand supported him, and again he heard those words, heard them clearly, as if someone were whispering in his ear.
Rejoice, rejoice, we conquer.
And then the hills of Athens were in the distance, and Heinrich Wolf the Nazi was only 100 yards ahead. Stefan began a sprint. Now, Stefan Zeno was not a superstitious man, nor am I. I only tell you what Stefan told me. He told me he himself did not run those last yards in which he overtook Wolf. He said he was carried along, sustained by someone he could not see, but could only hear.
Rejoice, we conquer.
Stefan, mind you, not a superstitious man, swears it was the first man to run the marathon. He swore it was Phidippides who carried him along.
Wolf! Wolf! So, you, the village idiot. I know you now. You, Zeno. Zeno, the American.
Yes, Wolf. Zeno the American. This time I win. Rejoice. We conquer.
And that's The Road to Athens, the story of a great distance runner written by a man who was a great runner himself, Jackson Scholes, former member of the American Olympic team.
Well, I certainly enjoyed this one, Granny, and I'll be around next week.
Swell. Next week we'll have a story by a great baseball writer, Charlie Van Loan.
Oh, fine.
We haven't heard from him so far, but it's high time we did. Well, so long, fellas.
Well, so long,
Bill.
Mr. Rice.
So long,
Granny.
Very interesting story.
Well, you are.
You've been visiting the Sportsman's Club for another sports story selected for you by the Dean of American Sports Writers, Grantland Rice. Today's story was Road to Athens, written by the Olympic runner Jackson Scholes for Blue Book, dramatized for radio by Gerald Holland. George Mitchell was heard as Stefan Zeno. Stefan Schnabel was Heinrich Wolf. And Gene Leonard played Dr. Skopas. Others in the cast were Owen Jordan, William Moulton, and Joseph Wiseman. George Crooks was at the organ. Grantland Rice appeared in person. The production was under the direction of Anton M. Leda. The Office of War Information advises us that one of the best ways to stretch our limited supply of materials for war is to fight waste of all types. By fighting waste and conserving, we can, in effect, have more, just as truly as if we produced more. We can therefore make a definite contribution to the war effort if we conserve everything we use, if we buy only what we need, if we salvage what we don't need, and if we share what we have. In particular, we're urged to conserve and salvage paper. Paper is a critical war material. If the American public can effect a 25% reduction in the use of wrapping paper and bags, this would mean an annual saving of over 250,000 tons of paper, enough to make 90 million boxes for emergency Army rations. This is a definite, specific war use of paper which we can help to bring about by conserving and salvaging paper. Here are definite, specific ways in which to do this conserving and salvaging. Accept unwrapped goods wherever possible. Use and reuse shopping containers. Save waste paper for the scrap paper drive. The efforts of one person may seem small. The total results are tremendous. Join us next week at the Sportsman's Club at this same time for another of the favorite sports stories of Grantland Rice. This is the National Broadcasting Company.